and welcome to your guide on how to drive a stick. Throughout this movie, I will be using the terms stick, stick shift, and manual. To avoid confusion, these all mean the same thing. What you will need: a vehicle with a manual transmission, of course, preferably an empty parking lot or an open road, and someone with patience who is willing to help. Understanding the difference between a manual and an automatic vehicle. When you get into a manual vehicle, you're going to notice a few additional items. The first thing you will most likely notice is the shifter. If you fiddle with it, you will notice his path is not straight up and down like that in an automatic car. As a matter of fact, you will notice how it follows the pattern indicated on the top of the stick. The pattern indicates where the stick has to be in order for the corresponding gear to be active. Look a little harder and you will most likely find an extra pedal to the left of the brake. This is known as the clutch. Without it, you cannot drive a stick. As you notice in this picture, there is an absence of the clutch. This means that this vehicle has an automatic transmission. What not to do with your manual vehicle. 1. Never attempt what you are seeing to any vehicle. This could cause severe damage to the engine. 2. Never park a manual without the parking brake being engaged. When you come out of the grocery store, the car may not be where you left it. 3. Never let up on the clutch too fast while trying to get the vehicle moving. The car will jerk and stall. 4. When stopping, make sure you push both the clutch and the brake down to avoid stalling in traffic. And 5. Never shift into reverse while driving forward. Getting your stick shift started. For those of you who drive an automatic car, you know that all you need to do to start it is turn the key. For a manual, there are a few extra steps. Since we are only going to start it, don't worry about the parking brake being engaged or not. Go ahead and put the key in the ignition. For beginners, and so you don't pop the clutch, make sure the shifter is in neutral. You will know it's in neutral if it wiggles. To shift it into neutral, put your right foot on the brake, your left on the clutch, and move the stick until it moves freely. Now you're ready to start your car. Put your right foot on the brake again and your left foot on the clutch. Turn the key and the engine will come to life. If you try to start the vehicle without your foot on the clutch, nothing will happen. Start moving. Now that you have mastered the skill of starting the car, let's get the thing moving. Just for extra practice, cut the engine by turning the key off. Restart it the same way you were just taught, and let's get rolling. Make sure your right foot is on the brake and your left is on the clutch. Disengage the parking brake to avoid wear and tear on the engine as well as the brake. Push the stick into first gear. This should be the position to the top left. Slowly let off the clutch while giving it some gas. Imagine you are replacing the position of the clutch with the position of the gas. More than likely, you will jerk violently and stall, but once you get it moving, it will get easier. Shifting gears. If you try to drive a stick like an automatic, as in accelerating, thinking it's going to shift for you, more than likely you will explode. The next step in the driving process is shifting the gears. Shifting from one gear to the next is a lot easier than trying to get the vehicle moving from a standstill. To shift, you will take your foot off the accelerator, push the clutch all the way in, and move the stick into the next gear. Once the shifter is in the next gear, you will bring the clutch back up and start accelerating again. You will notice how you do not have to give the engine any gas while bringing the clutch up at this point. This is because the vehicle is already in motion. Learning when to shift. Now that you know how to shift from one gear to the next, it is important to know when to shift. With most cars, there will be a tachometer. This is the meter that measures the revolutions per minute. All cars are different, but you should listen to when the engine sounds like it's struggling to accelerate any faster. Remember where the stick on the tachometer is pointing, then shift to the next gear. Remembering will make you understand where the gears need to be shifted in relation to the tachometer. Never let the tachometer get into its red zone. At this point, you'll start doing severe damage to your engine. If you do not have a tachometer, like the truck being used in this video, then you have to rely solely on your ears. Downshifting. When you're slowing down through traffic, it is important to downshift so you don't stall the engine. For example, if you're driving at 55 miles an hour and there is a temporary speed limit sign that says 35 miles an hour, you will need to shift down to keep your engine from stalling. To do this, you simply put your foot on the clutch and brake or coast to the new speed limit. Once your car has gotten to the desired speed, shift into the appropriate gear for the speed you are going. Then let off the clutch, but not too quickly. Stopping. Stopping is considered to be an essential part of driving. Without it, you could lose your life. With a stick shift, you have to push the clutch down, then the brake. If you just push the brake down like you would with an automatic, your engine will stall. Congratulations, you now have the skills essential to drive a manual vehicle. Surely, you will be able to pick up all the babes after showing off your stick shift driving skills, as well as leaving all the automatic losers in the dust.